Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back another video from 6, and today we are checking out This Isn't the Goku You Know. I was right. So, I do remember watching a video, was it last week? Not too long ago, which was Goku's character arc Doesn't Matter. Very interesting video, and I don't know, maybe this is going to address it further? No clue. Always a very interesting take from 6, so let's get into it.
After Cell's speech, the whole world fell in a state of terror. The police and the army, both weakened due to peacetime, were unable to do anything against this menace. However, everyone had forgotten about the boy who defeated the evil archfiend Piccolo. The world had forgotten about the man who defeated both the Saiyans and Frieza.
Oh, must be the top panel.
The world had forgotten about Son Goku. This is a little passage from around the middle of the Cell arc, and I think right now it perfectly describes the Dragon Ball community. A few weeks ago, I made a video about how I missed the old Goku, and in it, I trashed Super Goku a lot because
Right, it's addressing. Right, okay. Yes, good video. That was a great video.
I didn't think he was like the old Z Goku. I specifically described it as Goku being a shell of his former self. While the reception of the video was mostly positive, a lot of the criticisms aimed at the video felt
Can't notice the subtitles have gone as well.
nitpicky, and they just rubbed me the wrong way to the point where I felt like I had to respond. Before we begin, I'd like to ask if you could leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, as I really appreciate it. I really want to talk about this quote from an interview that Akira Toriyama did back in 1997. In it, he basically says that Goku isn't a hero, and for some reason, the Dragon Ball community used this to gaslight themselves into believing that Goku just isn't a good person and only cares about fighting. But I'm going to read
No, it's like, was it Mark talks about it in his reviews? It's like it's a poison that Goku has that just, every now and then just affects the way he deals with things.
the actual quote and then explain to you my thought process after reading it. Toriyama says, basically, Son Goku from Dragon Ball doesn't fight for the sake of others, but because he wants to fight against strong guys. So once Dragon Ball got animated, at any rate, I've always been dissatisfied with the righteous hero type of portrayal they gave him.
Damn, right, okay, yeah. Oh, so this is, I remember.
I guess I couldn't quite get them to grasp the elements of poison that slip in and out of sight among the shadows. So what does it mean that Goku doesn't fight for the sake of others? Considering the fact that in the Saiyan saga, Goku landed a hit on Nappa for every single one of his fallen friends, and before fighting Frieza, Goku says, "And for all the Saiyans that you killed, as well as the people of planet Namek, I'm gonna take you down." I think it's safe to say Goku will fight for people he cares about, but he's not necessarily fighting for the sake of the universe. I'll even give credit to Dragon Ball Super here, because after Jiren tries to blast away all of Goku's friends at the Tournament of Power, he even says that he's not a hero of justice or anything.
There you go.
But if you try to hurt his friends, he's not going to forgive you. One pretty big example here is the difference between the manga and anime having Goku react to Frieza's death. In the anime, Goku has sort of a mad look on his face, like he finally just took down the big bad of the arc.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy about it in the manga, does he?
But in the manga, and I'll get into more detail about this later
Yeah, look at that. He looking a bit disappointed about the situation.
on, Goku has a sad look on his face, like he genuinely didn't want Frieza to end up that way. I think that's probably what Toriyama means when he says he couldn't quite get them to grasp the elements of poison that slip in and out of sight among the shadows. Another good example is Goku's reaction to Dr. Gero just blasting away half the city. He tells him to stop, and then he's like, "How could you just kill all those people?" It's not as if Goku doesn't care if people
Yeah, he's not a monster. He doesn't care if people live or die.
die, but he doesn't want people to just die. He frequently tries to fight in locations where people won't be, that way he can focus on the fight itself. So yeah, that's my interpretation of the series and the quote, and I think that that lines up the most with what's said in the actual manga, and trying to apologize for the seeming contradiction that would come from the interview statement if you took it at just face value. Now, to be fair, that was the more generous Toriyama quote. I'm going to read another one. This is far more recently. This one is from 2015. He says, "At any rate, I wanted him to have the sense of being that rare guy who only seeks to become stronger than before, so much so that it feels like there's no one as pure as this person. And while he does end up saving everyone as a result of that, he himself at least has a very pure sincerity about wanting to become stronger. What I wanted to depict the most was the sense that he might not be a good guy at all, although he does do good things as a result.
Right, okay.
I think a great thing to point out about this quote is Toriyama is constantly talking about what he wanted to do and how he wanted to depict Goku. I think what I would say in response to this is that he just blatantly failed. I think with the dialogue I mentioned earlier, the difference between the manga and anime and things like that, I think all of those things build sort of a consistency to say that Toriyama failed in how he wanted to depict Goku.
I mean, saying failed is such a harsh word, but
Not saying that Goku is depicted as a righteous hero, but he's not depicted the way Toriyama says that he wanted him to be depicted,
okay.
at least not in my opinion. I want to talk about the moral part again, since a lot of people mentioned that they only listened to the first point, and multiple people on Twitter admit to this. They only listened to the first point and said based off that first point, I would be wrong about the entire video anyway. From what I can gather, and keep in mind I'm going to be generalizing a little bit here, people were saying that since Goku has given senzu beans to villains in the past, him giving a senzu bean to Moro is not that out of character. I hate arguments like this because they are very vague and lack the context from the actual story. If I could quickly give an exaggerated example to show why these vague arguments are so bad, it would essentially be like saying, well, it's okay that Frieza lost to Bulma because he's lost fights before.
yeah, alright. Wow. Wow, what an argument to throw out there. Wow, keeping that for when I have discussions with my friends.
Now, obviously, Frieza has lost fights before, but the context behind him losing those fights is he's fighting extremely strong people who are literally millions of times stronger than Bulma. Like I said, that was a bit of an extreme example, but I felt like that was
I love it. I love that. That's so... wow.
a good way to illustrate the point I was trying to make. So let's take a look at the 2 times Goku gave his opponents a senzu bean and the 1 time he gave Frieza energy, and compare them to the Moro situation, and I'll explain how they're all very different. We'll start with Piccolo since I think this is probably the easiest to explain. Just to make sure everyone understands, Piccolo and Kami are linked in life. If one of them dies, the other person will die. Currently, whenever Goku gave Piccolo the senzu bean, he was laying in the dirt, dying. When Kami tried to end Piccolo, Goku cuts in, saying he can't let him do that because Kami will also pass away.
Yeah, we need
After
Dragon Balls.
Goku tells Yajirobe to hand him another senzu bean, and he gives it to Piccolo, he tells Piccolo if he was to let him die, Kami would too. Then he says, besides that, I don't like the idea of losing my arch nemesis yet. There are 2 factors that go into this.
There's 2 points to it. It's not just the, like, I wanted him to stay alive to fight him again thing. It's the Dragon Balls and Kami.
One, Kami cannot die. Goku does not want to let him die, and he doesn't want to lose his arch nemesis. Context matters in this situation, as if Goku only gave Piccolo a senzu bean because he wasn't ready to lose his arch nemesis and he wasn't dying in the ground, then maybe I would agree that him giving Moro a senzu bean was a little bit consistent with his character. Even then, I'm not sure Goku would make this same decision that he did with Piccolo if it was to be Goku from later on in Z. Especially if you remove the context of the fact that Kami would die if Piccolo died as well. I'll reiterate this point later with better efficiency than I did in the I Missed the Old Goku video, but I genuinely think that Goku was done sparing villains after the Frieza arc. Now moving into when Goku actually gave Frieza energy, since I want to just take this down in chronological order. This one is probably the most similar to the Moro situation. Even though in the original video I compared it to the Cell situation, I think I may have missed the mark on that one a little bit, and comparing it to Frieza is probably the right way to go. Now, the big difference between Frieza and Moro in this situation is how they actually lost to Goku. Moro lost because Goku beat him up. Fair and square, Goku beat Moro and won the fight. Frieza lost because of his own attack cutting him in half.
Yeah, he was a moron.
A conclusion that Goku was not satisfied with because of his beef with Frieza. He says that such a miserable end doesn't suit Frieza, even if he did bring it upon himself. The chapter is literally called An Empty Conclusion.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Uh, yeah.
Because this isn't what Goku wanted. I think this is a big thing that people ignore whenever they talk about Goku giving Frieza energy. This isn't the end that Goku had wanted for Frieza. So whenever Frieza begged Goku for his life, I think Goku was far more willing to hand energy over to Frieza, specifically because this wasn't the end that he saw for him.
Yeah.
On top of that, I want everyone to take a look at the dialogue Goku has with Frieza before giving him his energy. He says, "It's always about you, isn't it? How many people have you killed as they begged for their lives like you are now?" When Frieza says please again, Goku blasts him with a ball of energy in order to give it over. Giving my interpretation of this, I think Goku decided to give Frieza his energy here because he realized that him leaving Frieza there would just be him being just like Frieza, not sparing someone's life while they're begging for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be quite what's the word? Hypocritical, wouldn't it? To be spouting that and then to just let them die. Yeah.
Then Goku tells Frieza go ahead and get out of here while he still can, and to live on, and maybe one day he'll learn to see the value of life. We all know what happens after this. Frieza gets mad that Goku down talked him. He tries to blast him away. Goku turns around, says you fool, and he actually blasts Frieza away. What a lot of people don't notice about Goku after he blasts Frieza away is the fact that his hand is still trembling after the blast is gone. This, coupled with the sad look, I think is supposed to indicate that Goku did not really want to do this.
Yeah,
He truly wanted Frieza
expected.
to have a better end.
I mean, no, it's not what he expected from it. It's not what he wanted. Like he said, like I don't want to be like him, and then it's just like,
to his life than what he just got. Before Goku gave Frieza energy, he was gonna die, cut in half by his own attack on planet Namek. After Goku gave Frieza his energy and he turned on him, he still died, cut in half out of energy on planet Namek. Before we move on to the Cell Saga and Goku giving Cell a Senzu Bean, I want to talk a little bit about Goku after this incident and really drive the point home that I was trying to make in the other video. When Goku talks to Trunks about Frieza coming back, he says that the next time they interacted, he was going to clobber Frieza for good this time because the last time they interacted, he went too easy on him. Given Goku's sad expression and trembling arm whenever he got done blasting away Frieza, I think it's safe to say that he had killing intent whenever he turned around and fired that final blast. So I think it's most likely that whenever Goku is talking about the fact that he went too soft on Frieza, he's saying that he didn't put his all into that final blast and finish Frieza off for good. But I think this statement, coupled with how the rest of the story goes as I'll explain in this video, indicates that Goku has learned from this mistake with Frieza that not everyone can be saved, and he's moved on from that mindset. Where I think the disconnect is I think that people thought I was saying when Goku attempted to save Moro, that Goku has never attempted to save anyone or
before.
Goku.
Right, okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, because that was his way of trying to save Frieza, and then Frieza just, it's like, I don't want to...
should never save anyone, but that's not what I'm saying. What I was getting at was the fact that Goku after Frieza doesn't really do that. So when I say I miss the old Goku and I talk about how he's now saving Moro, I thought Goku, or it was my understanding that Goku had now moved past this, especially given his last interaction with Buu, wherein he wished that Buu would come back as a good guy so that they could fight again one day. Now, Buu probably isn't the best example because Buu is pure evil and sort of mindless, so there's nothing really there for Goku to save. But I'm just saying, I think that he's moved past that. I will pick back up on this after I explain the Cell Senzu Bean situation. Now, when talking about this Cell and Goku Senzu Bean situation, since I've done it so many times, I'm going to try to come at it from a different angle here, especially since I'm going to end up comparing it to Goku giving Moro a Senzu Bean. Goku gives Cell a Senzu Bean with in mind that when he brings out Gohan's full power, Gohan is going to kill him.
Yeah,
that's
it's
at
going
least
to end
his
him.
thought.
That's the whole point. It's like, right, I want you to be strong because I need you to draw out what Gohan is capable of. Like, it's always when he's pushed to the edge that Gohan comes out, but it's like he realizes, no, this isn't the way a dad should approach this. Pattern
whenever he throws the Senzu Bean up itself. He also thinks that he wants this to be a fair fight between him and Gohan, and Cell got pretty drained whenever he fought him. Everyone already knows why Goku was wrong with this, and everyone should already know that Goku ended up regretting this decision
Oh, yeah.
and regretting letting Gohan fight and all of that. Now, where this differs from Moro the most, and like I said, I think the Frieza thing is a better comparison, but where this differs from Moro the most is that it's not Goku who is fighting Cell. Cell is now going into a new match with Gohan, and Goku wants it to be a fair fight between him and Cell.
Yeah.
There's not about to be a new fight between Moro and someone else, and Goku's not about to fight Moro again. What Goku planned for him was for Moro to go back to prison. Moro also isn't dying, and his life is not linked to anyone that Goku cares about. And like I said, despite Goku's love for fighting, and despite Toriyama's quotes, he will not just willfully endanger people's lives for no reason.
No, definitely not. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
This is going to sound a bit convoluted, but Goku's love for fighting versus Goku's love for a fair fight is a bit different. And Goku's love for fighting has never outweighed his love to protect his friends.
No, definitely not.
This is shown to us even as far back as the 23rd tournament when Goku wants to fight Piccolo Jr. Goku wants to blast him away with his Super Kamehameha, but he also doesn't want to kill Kami. But whenever Piccolo threatens to blow up the entire arena, and Krillin reminds Goku that they have the Dragon Balls and can revive Kami, this is before he figures out that their lives are internally linked. He fires the Super Kamehameha at him. To me, that shows Goku wanting to save his friends outweighs his want for a fight.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, where a little bit of that poison that slips through that Toriyama was talking about, when fighting Kid Buu for the second time, Goku and Vegeta both crushed the Potara earrings, saying that Buu isn't a fused being anymore himself, and that just wouldn't be fair. That is Goku's need for a fair fight outweighing the danger of the universe and protecting his friends and whatnot. That is different from giving Moro a Senzu bean for literally no reason. Just think about every fight post Frieza. Against Android 19, Goku started rushing the fight trying to kill him. Against Cell, Goku couldn't kill him, but he wanted Gohan to kill him. Against Yakan, Goku immediately put Yakan down. You could argue some room for error around the Deborah parts of the story, but at the same time, I just respond with Goku's with two other capable fighters who also haven't had their turn to fight.
Yeah, he's like, I think they're gonna do all right. Like,
after all, these guys do just like to fight. Goku also didn't know that Gohan had gotten as weak as he did. I don't really feel like covering the context behind Goku not killing Fat Buu again because this video is already long enough and I didn't even want it to be this long. So if you want my answer to that, obviously just go watch the other video. All I'm trying to say is that post Frieza, Goku doesn't do the things that he does in Super. And to me, that feels like a character regression, which is why I missed the old Goku.
That was a good look. I like that. I remembered the whole like stuff that Mark talked about with the poison that Goku deals with, and yeah, like I like the look at the whole like Frieza thing. It's like he didn't want to kill him, you know, and the Senzu Bean wasn't intended for him to have the fight. It was like to have Gohan be pushed and then annihilate him because he felt that was the right thing to do to get the enemy defeated. Like it's, yeah, Goku now is. I mean, there's still potential for it to come back. We'll see. Good video. Thanks to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video, I upload link in the description to the Patreon page or on $1 special. That's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much for that. Thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. I'll see you guys, all you guys, next time.